Dear colleagues, let me please briefly introduce the results of my research. My name is Pivovarov. I'm from Russia, in particular from the Russian Presidential Academy of National Economy and Public Administration, from South Russia Institute of Management, located in the city of Rostov-on-Don. It's in the south of the Russian Federation. And the topic of my research, you can see, it's evaluation of e-learning via social networking websites by full-time students in Russia. But first of all, why did I decide to choose such a topic? You see, presently the Russian government is seeking the ways and methods to improve the quality of higher education. In these conditions, some universities were closed down, some were merged with each other. So there were, for example, several smaller universities that turned into one bigger university. And in these conditions, universities have to compete to each other and to find the new methods of improving higher education, of the new methods of attracting the students, the new methods of making the educational process more entertaining and interesting. And in this case, my personal opinion that social media can be effectively applied in everyday classes, full-time classes, and in this research I will try to explain why it can be effective. So the purpose of the research is to determine the best techniques of delivering of e-learning via social networking websites. Here you can see the logos of Facebook and vk.com. vk.com is the most popular Russian social media website. Originally, actually, it was just the precise copy of Facebook, but then some new features and many new features appeared. Why did I choose vk.com? Because you see, it's much more popular in Russia than any other social media, in particular Facebook. The only one social media website that can compete with vk.com is, what do you think? What social media website?
Google.
No, not Twitter. No, not Google, not at all.
Just Facebook.
No, it's Instagram.
Really?
Instagram, yes.
Very global.
There is a really strong competition, I think, between Instagram and vk.com. Okay, but it's not the case. So, methodology and data collection. As I told you, I'm from the Russian Presidential Academy. This is not a classic university. This is not the University of Applied Science. It's the university with a narrow specialization in management, in particular business management or business administration, and public administration. This university prepares future public servants and future businessmen. So university, I mean my institute in Rostov-on-Don, it's not quite big, it's something like 3,000 full-time students. So, in what way did I make my research? First of all, I created the special interest group, some kind of group or public in social media on this social media site vk.com. Then I invited my students. At that time, when I was making this research, there were something like 500 or 600 students in the group. Presently, there are more than 800. I hope that someday we will have 1,000. So, the special interest group was created on social media website, and on this social media group, various educational content was uploaded. For example, some case assignments, some, for example, useful links, some contests, I mean educational contests or educational competitions were organized via this social media websites. Students actively participated. And finally, after 6 months of using such educational technique, I decided just to make a questionnaire and to ask my students what they like, what they don't like, what they liked in particular the most, what they didn't like, and so on. And the number of respondents were 100 people. All of these people were bachelor students, and here you can see the age of participants. As you can see from the slide, most of the participants were between 18 and 21 years old. And this example, it illustrates just the statement. Today, a few hours before, I made some comment to a colleague, and in this comment I stated that social media is more popular among the younger people who are 18, 21 years old, and as soon as people getting older, they get married, they find a regular job, and they don't have so much time for social media. So this slide just shows that the statement is true. Students' academic specialization was public administration, was the most popular. Management also, public administration, most of our students from our university, they study public administration, so that's why public administration has the highest positions. Then the question was asked to students, do you have a Facebook account? And as you can see, only half of students have Facebook account, but why the other half don't have, I have already explained that Facebook is not as popular in Russia because we have our Russian analog. And the next question was, what advantages dispose Russian social media vk.com behind Facebook? And here you can see that most people stated that most of my friends have a VK account, but they don't have Facebook account, and I want to communicate with them, that's why I have VK account also. And the second most popular response was that VK.com has a more interesting, entertaining background in comparison with Facebook. I think that's because you can download, you can upload music, you can listen to music, you can watch videos, but only Facebook you can also watch videos. But VK has a more user-friendly interface than Facebook. It's a quite subjective statement, but 13% consider so. So the frequency of the visits to the special interest group on Wiki, here you can see that most people use it weekly. But saying weekly, I mean, of course, all of them use it daily, yes, but stating weekly, they state that they use it in the educational purpose weekly. And another interesting observation that students, they use social media more actively during working days, starting from Monday to Friday, especially on Monday evening and Wednesday evening. I don't know why. Probably they are preparing for the classes. And when the weekend comes, more or less people are in social media. What motivates students to be a member of the special interest group on a social media website? And as you can see, the most popular answer is the ease of have access to information. Of course, there are some supporting materials, methodical materials that are available in printed versions. Yes, but the younger generation, me also personally, I don't like very much just printed books and so some kind of materials. Yes, it's much easier just to go to social media website to download what you need to share these materials with your classmates or group mates and so on. What students would like to improve in this special interest group? And the majority of the students asked that they would like to increase student-teacher interaction. I mean interaction via social media. The explanation can be as follows, that actually I started this social media in education and it was some kind of experiment. But my colleagues from my department actually they did not share this experiment with me, and probably students answering to this question, they would like just another teachers to join them on social media. Types of teachers' posts the students mostly prefer. Here there are several answers that are most popular, but in particular posts that related to administration of the unit, unit learning materials, and case study arrangements. There is no just the only one leader among these answers. And the other question, would you like to watch video lectures? And 85% of the students stated yes, that we would like. And 1 year after I started recording video lectures, I recorded 2 courses. Well, what do I mean saying video lectures? I record short videos. In saying short, I mean 5-10 minutes at maximum. Then before a lecture, they become available on YouTube. Students watch these videos, just find some new definitions, some basic terms, and during the lecture we go into details. I don't explain some basic definitions, some fundamentals. We just go into details, into discussion, and so on. So, and this, the answers to this question, they somehow inspired me to make, to start making video courses 1 year later. The question also was asked, have you ever taken online class before? And half of the students stated that no. And finally, I asked to estimate all the experiments, just do you like it in general or you don't like it at all? And 86% of respondents found it positive. But of course, I made it only, I asked this question only after all of them passed the exams and read it. Yeah. Because in other situations, the results could have been not just objective, because they could have said, oh, we all like your stuff, just we want to pass the exam, but no. No. And here you can see conclusions and discussions. At this slide I tried to compare, if it's possible, the results of my research with some more or less similar researches. Here you can see I managed to find some data from Turkey, from the United States. Of course, there are different time periods. Generally, in Russia, students consider that the most important teacher-student interaction, that more university teachers should join this communication via social media, that most of the students at that time did not participate in, not most, but half of the students didn't participate at that time in any online course or any online experiment, and that generally the major part of the respondents find this experiment as successful. So that's it, that's all the result, and would be very good if you ask me some questions. I would reply with great pleasure. So thank you for your attention.
Any question, comment?
Is there anything like YouTube in Russia, like a Russian network that would do something like YouTube?
Like Russian YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. It's called RooTube.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are not competing. YouTube is much more popular. It's just the alternative. RooTube, I think probably some any other, but there is another not Russian analog of YouTube, Vimeo, yes? Vimeo, yes. So RooTube is some kind of Vimeo probably.
And something like Twitter?
Twitter? Oh, not really. Not really. Only Pavel Durov invented Telegram, but it's not like Twitter, and Pavel Durov lives abroad now.
Okay.
He's Russian. Snapchat, Russian. There is no, as far as I know, there is no Russian analog to Snapchat. And I remember 2 years ago, something like that, Snapchat started becoming popular. But now I think it is pushed away by Instagram stories. WhatsApp, yes, yeah, but WhatsApp it's some kind of just a messenger, It's also very popular, but personally, me, I don't see such a great educational potential. WhatsApp, probably I'm wrong, but I think so. And what is also interesting, that sometimes I used this semester I used to catch my students during the lectures while they were making online translations from my lecture. So that shows that Instagram stories is really popular. You see, vk.com, this Russian social media website, from time to time it tries to copy some features from Facebook, from Instagram, and there is also stories available on vk.com, but the most popular thing is Instagram, if you want to make just a short video or a picture.
Among the takeaways that you put together at the end is the need for a more intense interaction between the students and the professors, right? Are your professors motivated to engage in this interaction? Because it's more work, plain. I do it back home, but it's more work and I'm not getting extra benefits. So I'm doing it as a hobby in my institution, whereas it should be somehow formalized. Is it formalized in your school? That's my first question. And the second is, you said about the strengths of VK versus Facebook. And the thing that people have VK accounts and are very active is something that draws in further users of VK versus what's happening to Facebook. Where do you see the potential for future ventures in Russia, for social media ventures, given this fossilized or entrenched industry and barriers to entry otherwise due to this familiarity with a certain service or provider or venture?
You see, answering to your second question is rather hard to predict, because 2 or 3 years ago it was just not possible to imagine the appearance of Instagram stories or Snapchat, but then such a service appeared. what personal I think, what social media.
I was referring to indigenous Russian ventures that.
I don't know, probably some social media site related to sports.
Mhm.
I don't know, probably. Because sports, the healthy way of life is becoming more and more popular. Probably some sports stuff, I don't know.
So you're saying that this potential will not be hampered by certain attitudes or that exist in the population we use what we know, and what we don't know we don't use because we don't know it, right? So it's not going to be hampering the growth of future.
No. No. And answering to your first question, rather tricky question, of course, all this experiment is just my personal initiative, yes. And of course,
you're showing that to us, which is the benefit, but beyond that, in your school.
yes, and I think that most of my colleagues share your opinion that, of course, I will do it, but what will I get instead of it? Yes, for example. So it's a tricky question that I don't have an answer right now, to be honestly.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, for example, it just depends. Maybe as the institution grows and further develops, like there'll be more incentives given to staff. Like, for example, at my institution, there's an emphasis, so there's a minimum standards. So staff have to have at least 3. So in the LMS, in the learning management system that all the students have access to, there's like a little widget, and staff now have to make at least 3 videos per semester. Welcoming students, then maybe giving some assessment feedback. So this has like become a minimum standard as a teaching practice for staff. And although in the grand scheme of things, teaching is not rewarded because research is what's rewarded, but I think as we're moving forward, it needs to come from like a bigger picture rather than like individuals can make the change. And I guess my question would be as well, do you have the freedom to, you know, try these different things, or do you need to answer to like a higher power? Do you have a manager that will tell you, no, you can't deliver like a lecture online?
No,
or
I'm rather lucky that I'm absolutely free in this case. Absolutely free, so I can just make any initiative, promote it, and nobody says to me, oh, you cannot do like that, please do like that. There is no such things. So in this context, I have a big freedom, I think. I'm absolutely free. 95%, I think.
And I just wanted to ask quickly as well, like, did you feel uncomfortable being in this social space with your students? I mean, because you have to be appropriate in what profile photo you use, right? Because you can't be all relaxed with a liberal profile pic and have your students in the same space. So I was just wondering, what's the dynamic for you?
No, all my photos are
Clean.
Clean. Sports, conferences, you can just check it. Yes, but I absolutely agree that the content, that if you are a university teacher, you cannot upload just any content.
You have to be sensitive.
Yes, you have to be sensitive. For example, you will not have to upload some photos from parties, for example, nightclubs and so on. But I don't.
No, sure, but like that's something that people struggle with, and students do, and teachers. And it's like, do you need to create a different account? Do you use your work email for one account? Yeah, so it's very sticky. Yeah.
No, I'm a public person, absolutely open to everyone. There are no secret photos or something like that.
Not yet.
Just a small comment. You mentioned learning management system. Yes, in my university, they announced, so far only announced, that probably next year or next semester they will start introducing this virtual learning system. But what I what the real question is that will it really become popular among students? Of course, university administration can say you must do it, yes, but will it really become more comfortable for them for everyday use than just a social media website? You see, I think everyone knows there is a Clayton Christensen theory of disruptive innovation. Yes, a disruptive innovation, and in this case, probably social media can be disruptive in the context that it was not designed originally for educational purposes. Yes, but it can be effectively used in educational purposes. And of course, university administration can say you must use virtual learning system, but will it really be comfortable for students to use? It's a very hard question, and I know that there are lots of papers describing this problem. Just virtual learning system or management system versus social media website, just any social media website.
Yeah, I'm not sure about your universities, but our university is almost at a space where it's sort of post LMS. We have one, but sort of looking to beyond it. So it's almost like because your institution never had it, or in the context of the region, the LMSs weren't implemented. So potentially you could jump to a Web 2.0 type of delivery system.
Yes, but I think that first of all they will deliver it in Moscow, then test it, verify it, and only after that the system will appear in regions, for example, in our institution.
Okay. Any other question, comment?
So I have a quick question. So the students participated on VK. Those were students who are enrolled in programs at your university, or there's people who join that group from other places? I think the other question I wanted to ask related to that was whether students pay to attend classes at your university and how you managed that if they were participating through VK, if that was an issue. I don't know if it was an issue.
Okay, everyone just can join the group. And you see, after students pass exam, after they finish this course, they don't escape from the group. They just, from my personal observation, they continue from time to time. And some comments, watch videos, making likes, and so on. Not everyone, but usually, even some students who have already graduated from the university, for example, last year. So the group is open and everyone can join it.
Okay, good. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.